Coming up on OU Nightly, some education bills are on the agenda at the Capitol tomorrow. Hear from a former teacher turned lawmaker. And how one more high school class is getting a proper graduation decades later.
Plus, seasonal temperatures on the way this week. I'll have your forecast and more. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Victoria Anderson.
And I'm Spencer Plato. We begin tonight with a hot topic here in Oklahoma, education. Tomorrow, the House Common Education Committee will meet to discuss House bills over just that.
OU Nightly's Morgan Martin joins us live in the newsroom with more on what those bills will address. Morgan.
That House committee will cast their vote on 7 bills that could impact schools across the state. I spoke with one representative who told me about one bill he thinks could really help Oklahomans.
We want schools to be able to do the best job and spend their time there. So let us handle some of these headaches if we can and get those roadblocks out of the way.
Lawmakers like Representative Dick Lowe plan to tackle those issues this session with that first committee meeting happening Tuesday. One of those bills could create a new program to train public school personnel on threat intervention.
Something happens in Oklahoma, it's when. Now, are we as prepared as we can be when that does happen?
Lowe says as a former teacher, getting this bill passed is important for safety.
I want to put our teachers in some of the situations I've seen others in. And people keep saying, why are you so involved in safety for our schools? I would be willing to bet 5 years ago you did not know where Uvalde, Texas was.
Representative Lowe says he feels without a doubt 4015 will pass the committee.
Other issues the committee will vote on tomorrow include changes to glucose monitoring protocol and requirements to call 911 if an EpiPen is used on a student. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Morgan. According to the Oklahoma Department of Mental Health, each week 300 Oklahomans are admitted for urgent care or crisis mental health services. In light of this, OU is expanding its partnership with TELUS Health, providing students with free 24/7 mental health services including counseling, assessments, and other resources. OU officials hope this will help students in crisis and continue mental health conversations.
The idea of mental health and conversation has become less stigmatized, and so I think I'm hopeful that people will continue to seek out support and resources, and I'm hoping that also too they'll know that there's just different avenues in case they ever feel either challenged or frustrated.
To access TELUS Health, students can download the Student Support app.
Well, today is a completely different day compared to yesterday's snowfall.
That's right, and now we're just walking in like a slushy winter wonderland. So let's head right over to OU meteorologist Carlin McCrary for a check at those warmer temperatures.
That's right, ladies. I'm sure you noticed a few puddles on your way to class this morning. That is because we are definitely seeing a different story today than what we did see yesterday, with a lot of snow falling in our area, especially 1.5 inches in Norman, 3.2 inches in Oklahoma City. But once again, these snow totals weren't really able to accumulate on roadways just because the surface temperatures were just a little bit warmer than what they needed to be able to stick. But for current conditions outside, let's send it over to OU Nightly meteorologist CD Finley. What's it looking like out there?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right, Carlin. If you were to walk outside right now on the campus here at OU, you wouldn't even be able to tell that it did snow last night. If anything, it looks more like it rained with all the different puddles that are kind of sitting out and about. But yeah, you wouldn't even be able to tell if it weren't for the fact that I'm standing right here next to a snowman that has already kind of started to go away here a little bit. Look what these 40-degree temperatures did to my guy. He's absolutely massacred. Kind of like my hopes of the 49ers winning the big game last night. But that's neither here nor there. You know, it is definitely a little bit nicer outside than it was yesterday. There's not really much snow left to be seen, but we do have some changes coming up in that forecast. So, Carlin, I'm going to send it back to you.
Thanks, CD. That's right. Those temperatures are definitely starting to warm up, and that's going to be a trend that's going to continue over the next few days. We are 13 degrees above what we saw yesterday today in parts of Oklahoma City and Norman. But coming up in Maine weather, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how we're going to start to see 50s and 60s in the forecast once again. Your Valentine's Day forecast along with a weekend cold front coming up. Ladies?
Thanks, Carlin. In Houston, Texas, a woman brings a gun and a child into a mega church, causing mass panic. OU Nightly's Darby McCormick has that and the rest of today's headlines from the News Center.
Houston police say the woman, 36-year-old Janice Moreno, walked into Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church Sunday afternoon, opening fire next to her 7-year-old son. Police say off-duty officer shot and killed Moreno in self-defense. Her son was left in critical condition. Another person was shot in the leg. Investigators add Moreno had an AR-15 with the word Palestine written on it. Pastor Osteen says this incident could have been a lot worse, thanking God the shooting happened in between services.
Keep going strong and just, doing what God's called us to do, lift people up and give hope to the world.
The motive behind the shooting is still unclear at this time. And snowstorm Nor'easter is expected to impact New York hard tonight into Tuesday. The heaviest snow is expected to fall just north of the NYC area, but things will take a turn if the snow shifts slightly south, which could even cause more snow in the city. Forecasters expect 5 to 8 inches of snow. Just 6 inches of snow would be the biggest storm for the city since January 2022. And a mysterious vessel overturns in Trinidad and Tobago, causing a massive oil spill. This spill is becoming a major attraction to Carnival cruisers. The vessel turned over Wednesday. No emergency calls were made, and it's unknown who owns the ship. Prime Minister Keith Rowley calls this a national emergency, promising to provide financial support from the federal government to address this crisis. And former President Donald Trump faces a deadline today, asking the Supreme Court to extend the delay of his trial over the 2020 election. Victoria Spencer.
Thanks, Darby. High school graduation is a milestone event everyone looks forward to. However, a Moore High School ceremony was ended abruptly, and many never got to take their walk across the stage. OU Nightly's Snow Forth tells us how these students are finally getting their moment years later.
In the Moore High School Stadium in blue paper robes. And it started out beautifully sunny day.
But it wouldn't be gorgeous for long.
Lo and behold, within seconds, Principal Hayes comes to the microphone and says, ladies and gentlemen, we're under a tornado warning, and you need to, just as organized as you can, get out the west gate. Don't panic.
Everything changed in an instant as a dark wall cloud formed above.
Seniors, you're graduated. And just as quickly as we got seated and said a prayer, our graduation was over.
And there was no makeup ceremony because the band was leaving for a field trip.
We would love a chance to graduate.
The current Moore High School principal heard about this story and wanted to make it up to the class. So the district is now sponsoring the event and is holding the graduation right here on Moore Field, just like they intended to 50 years ago.
I'm looking forward to experiencing this with my classmates.
And for those who have died since the original graduation date, family members can serve as a representative for the graduate, like Krim's wife, who was standing on the field 50 years ago, but unfortunately lost her battle to cancer in 2021.
I'm looking forward to seeing the fulfillment of my late wife's dream.
The class of 1974 will finally walk the stage on June 8th. In Moore, Snow Forth, OU Nightly.
You can visit more-74.org for more information on the ceremony. And coming up on OU Nightly, your credit card charges could be on the rise.
Hear how consumers are experiencing debt
And find out what experts are calling the funflation effect.
More about how long this effect could last next.
My baby's back from the West Coast.
Here are those pictures that you asked for your school project? First day of school, cute as a button.
So long ago.
Oh, here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and it's the best way to protect that legacy.
Those beans smell heavenly.
Give Mom a little credit.
You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year.
Oh, great idea.
At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with the link.
Okay.
Smart.
I'm coming to share with you guys.
Protect your legacy. Plan for natural disasters today. Visit ready.gov/plan.
Winter is upon us, and every Oklahoman knows that means unpredictable freezing temperatures. One of the main concerns with freezing temperatures is the damage they can cause to your home or business should they cause your water pipes to freeze over. Older homes, especially those without proper insulation or that have basements or crawl spaces with exposed pipes, are particularly susceptible to this. Here is Rachel Croft, City of Norman Water Treatment Plant Manager, to show you the proper steps you can take to prevent your pipes from freezing.
The good news is you don't need to run a whole lot of water in order to combat freezing from your pipes. Here's how you do it. Another thing that you can do to help is to open your cabinet drawers to make sure that warm air throughout your home is getting to your faucet pipes. But you want to make sure to remove any harmful chemicals that any small children or pets could have the ability to reach.
Following these steps can help save money on your water bill and help to conserve Norman's water supply.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Just a day after Super Bowl 58, economists are saying this was the most expensive game in history. OU Nightly's Olivia Hayes explains the spike in prices in today's Money Matters.
Spencer, money experts are calling this funflation as Americans spend big for life experiences they missed during COVID-19 lockdowns. Adam Budelli with StubHub says the average Super Bowl ticket sold on StubHub for more than $8,000. The National Retail Federation says about $17.3 billion was spent on game day food, beverages, and more. Experts at the Bank of America Institute say that funflation will likely play on through 2024. And many of those funflation expenses may end up on your credit card. Consumers are facing record high debt followed by soaring interest rates. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says credit card balances rose to $1.13 trillion in the final 3 months of 2023. Late credit card and auto loan payments are also at their highest levels in more than a decade. Forget the chocolate and stick to the flowers this Valentine's Day. Cocoa prices are at an all-time high. Experts say cocoa beans are being damaged by climate issues, making the supply scarce. Cocoa prices are surging so high, even the biggest chocolate makers are struggling to stay profitable. Hershey cut 5% of its workforce this past week. And if your Valentine's Day doesn't go as planned, P.F. Chang's is giving out free dumplings to everyone who gets dumped. Spencer, Victoria?
Well, I don't think I'll be wanting dumplings for Valentine's Day this year.
Yeah, I'm usually always in the mood for dumplings, but maybe not this year.
Well, students, get your resume ready. The university's annual internship and job fair is just days away.
And we have details on how you can prepare next on OU Nightly.
And as the snow has melted away today, I'll have what we can expect this week in your forecast coming up next.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Let's start chocolate dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
And welcome back to OU Nightly. Thanks for joining us today on this Monday. We do have a live look at our Weather Center cam right now. You can see a lot of blue out there, very different than what we saw yesterday with a lot of snowfall in our area. Current temperature is 49 degrees here in Norman, a little bit of a wind, northwest 10 miles per hour. Our dew point is fairly low, so a little bit dry outside as you head to your classes today. Current temperatures across the state, once again, we are seeing temperatures in the upper 40s, 54 in Enid, 48 Oklahoma City, and 48 in Norman. So this is kind of a little bit lower than what we usually do see this time of year, but we are going to start to see those seasonable temperatures later on into this week. Current wind speeds right now, you can see we do have a little bit of a breeze out there, so that's also contributing to it feeling a little bit cooler outside. But we have had quite a temperature increase over the past 24 hours, 13 degrees higher than what we did see yesterday in Norman. But take a look at Elk City, 19 degrees above what we did see yesterday. So we are on the warm up into parts of this week, especially today. And as you can see on the satellite and radar, not a whole lot going on out there. And that's going to be a trend that's going to continue over the next few days or so until we do reach the weekend, when we are expecting a cool down. But something that we can expect over the next few days are higher wind gusts. If we track this out, you can see today we do have a little bit higher wind gusts in the teens, but moving on into Tuesday, 3 p.m., you can see we reached 17 here in Norman. So very easy for things to blow around with higher wind gusts over the next few days. So be sure to keep that in mind. And then take a look into Wednesday. 25 miles per hour wind gusts here in Norman and Oklahoma City, up in Enid, 28 miles per hour. So wind gusts on Wednesday could reach up to 30 miles per hour. And also, along with the winds, we are going to stay warmer on Wednesday, Valentine's Day. We are going to actually have the warmest day of this week, 63 degrees, and into Thursday, 59. But something that we are looking ahead on also, we do have a cold front that is moving through into this weekend on Friday night. It's not going to change our temperatures too much, but definitely something to keep in mind as we are going to start to cool down just a little bit into Friday night. If you do have any plans on Valentine's Day, it is going to be the warmest day. So 60 degrees, we are going to cool down into the lower 50s. So definitely something to keep in mind if you do have any outdoor plans. But lows tonight, we are going to be in the 30s. And then tomorrow, we are going to warm a little bit up into the upper 50s. So it's going to be a nice day tomorrow and into Wednesday. And you can see that on the 7-day, we are going to warm up just a little bit on Wednesday, and then we're going to stay warm until we cool back down. But we are in for another warm up into next week. So we're going to be right around average for this time of year. Ladies, do you guys have any Valentine's plans?
I think I'm going to go with a Galentine's, maybe stay in and update myself on The Bachelor.
Oh, but with the warmer temperatures, you can get out with your Galentine's, take a stroll.
Maybe we could do a little Galentine's stroll. Would you like to join us?
Great idea. I'm in. I'm ready. I want to be outside in all these temperatures. 60 degrees. I mean, you can't beat that, especially this time of year.
It's amazing. Carlin, thank you. And the OU Career Center is gearing up this week for one of their biggest events of the year, the Spring Job and Internship Fair, Wednesday afternoon. OU students can connect with potential employers and recruiters. This week's Career Center is taking extra steps to prepare students.
There are lots of opportunities for students to network with employers. A lot of those recruiters that are going to be at the fair come and work with us leading up to that event, and then just generally being available for students to get their resumes ready and things like that.
The fair will be at 12:30 to 4 in the Oklahoma Memorial Union. And could the Oklahoma City Thunder break an 8-game losing streak against Sacramento over the weekend?
And could OU women's basketball team extend their 8-game winning streak? Emma McAndrews has more in sports.
Thanks, ladies. Could Sooner softball continue their fiesta in Mexico? And how will they do against head coach Patty Gasso's alma mater? All this plus more next in sports.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Water is our most precious resource, and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hello, my name is Emma McAndrews, and it's time for sports. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except the Lombardi Trophy. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers 25-22 in overtime to secure back-to-back Super Bowl championships. It is only the second overtime in Super Bowl history. And 4 former Sooners hoisted the Lombardi Trophy: Blake Bell, Creed Humphrey, Wanye Morris, and James Winchester. OU softball shook things up down south Saturday, extending their win streak to 57 games. A 2-homer and 4 RBI performance by Alyssa Brigo would sail the Sooners over Patty Gasso's alma mater, Long Beach State. The 11-3 victory starts the Sooners season 4-0. Oklahoma men's basketball head coach Porter Moser met with the media today. Ahead of DePaul head coach job opening rumors, Porter says he is not participating in that conversation, saying he is backing this team right now. In his post-game interview Saturday, he says the Sooners are focusing on one game at a time.
Our goals are still very high with 7 league games left. And you got to stack wins. You got to go 1-game win streaks. But this was big to put it in the column now, being taking care of this. And we know what's ahead. I don't talk to the guys about what's ahead. I mean, all we talk about is the one right in front of us, trying to go on that 1-game win streak, right, whatever that is right there in front of us.
In Ames, OU women's basketball heated up. It's winning its 8th straight game on Saturday. Peyton Verhulst knocked down 25 points to defeat Iowa State. The 86-72 win gives the Sooners their first road win over Iowa State since 2017. The Thunder wore the crown yesterday as they break an 8-game losing streak to the Sacramento Kings in OKC. Jalen Williams helped cap out the win with 32 points and 8 rebounds, including this 3 here. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was pouring in points, leading the team with 38. The 127-113 win keeps the Thunder in 3rd in the West. Sooner women's gymnastics stick to the #1 spot after posting season best score of 198.450 on Friday. Junior Jordan Bowers won the all-around, followed by senior Catherine LeVasseur, who broke a personal best in the all-around with a career high of 39.725. Another team sticking to the #1 in the national rankings, OU men's gymnastics. The Sooners have cashed in the 2 highest team scores in the nation this season and led the nation in 3 events.
OU beat down the Bears by 17 points over the weekend. Victoria, Spencer.
Thanks, Emma. USA Today is going wild for the OKC Zoo.
Find out what exhibit is up for the nation's best zoo exhibit when we return.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo? Donating to a pet's medical care can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Is that time yet?
It's time.
Fun start chocolate dinner.
Oh, it's really good.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Meet at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The University of Oklahoma cites a tripped alarm to be the cause of mass panic at OU's College of Dentistry. Those inside the building heard an active shooter alarm. Many began to hide. This happened at the OU Health Science Center in Oklahoma City. The all clear was given by first responders on Friday around 4 in the afternoon. Victoria, Spencer.
OK Zoo's Sanctuary Asia exhibit is getting national attention after its second nomination for USA Today's Best Zoo Exhibit.
This exhibit features Indian rhinos, red pandas, Komodo dragons, and more, and is expecting 2 new elephant calves next year. To cast your vote, visit 10bestusatoday.com before March 4th.
And this week's temperatures are looking like an ideal time to go to the zoo.
Yes, warmer temperatures are on the way. Let's get a final look at the weather for the rest of the week. Carlin?
That's right, ladies. If you maybe want to have a Valentine's or Galentine's date to the zoo, Wednesday's looking beautiful, 63 degrees, and that sunshine is going to stick around until the rest of the weekend, ladies.
Thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Victoria Anderson.
And I'm Spencer Plato. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
And my husband and children and my parents who live nearby were